a story I have never forgotten. It was the day I learned the true value of a single coin, and it wasn't what I expected. The stormy evening that changed everything. I was 12 years old, living in a small village surrounded by fields and forests. It was monsoon season, one of those days when the sky stays dark even at noon, as if night has refused to leave. Rainstorm clouds rolled low, and the wind carried the smell of wet earth. That evening, my mother sent me to the marketplace to buy a packet of salt. "And don't lose the coin," she said, placing a single silver coin in my hand. It was all we had left until my father returned from the city with his weekly wages. I nodded confidently, but inside I was nervous. A storm was building, the sky grumbling like a hungry beast. I tucked the coin tightly into my pocket and set off. On the lost coin, the rain started halfway to the market. Not a drizzle, a heavy wild downpour that lashed the ground. I ran to a banyan tree for shelter. In my hurry, my foot slipped in the mud and I fell. When I stood up, I felt my pocket empty. My heart stopped. The coin was gone. The only coin we had. The coin my mother trusted me with. Vanished in the mud. My pulse hammered in my ears. The wind howled, and the branches above creaked like they were whispering warnings. I dropped to my knees and searched frantically. My fingers dug through mud and wet leaves. Every second felt heavier. The rain blurred my vision, but I kept searching. "It has to be here." It has to. But it wasn't. A stranger in the dark. Night fell fast. The rain eased, but darkness spread across the fields. I knew going home without the coin meant facing my mother's worry. Perhaps even anger, but worse, it meant I had failed her. As I searched, lightning flashed, lighting up the forest edge. And in that brief moment, I saw something unusual. A shadowy figure standing a short distance away, tall, still watching. I froze. My breath caught in my throat. Another flash. The figure stepped closer. I wanted to run, but my legs refused. Fear rooted me in place. I had heard stories about thieves who lurked near the forest. And worse, stories of creatures people claimed to see on stormy nights. I took a slow step back. Then another. The figure moved forward. Footsteps approaching. Who's there?" I called, my voice barely steady. No response. Just slow, deliberate footsteps, squishing through the wet earth. Then another lightning flash lit the world white. And I saw him. A lean man, half-soaked, holding a lantern. His face was lined, but strangely gentle. But as a child, all I saw was someone unknown, approaching me in the dark. I stumbled back and nearly fell. "Wait," he called. "I'm not here to harm you." But I didn't believe him. Why would someone be out near the forest in such a storm? "Are you lost, boy?" he asked, raising his lantern slightly. I swallowed hard. No, I dropped a coin." His eyebrows lifted. "A coin in this storm?" I nodded. He looked at me for a moment, then stepped forward and handed me the lantern. "Hold this," he said. "We'll search together." The search." His voice was calm, almost comforting. I don't know why, but I trusted him. I held the lantern while he knelt in the mud, scanning the ground with practiced eyes. Half an hour passed. My legs trembled with exhaustion and fear. The night grew colder, the forest darker. Every sound, every rustle, every gust of wind felt amplified. Finally, he sighed. "It might be gone," he whispered. My heart sank. Tears stung my eyes. He looked at me carefully. "Was it important to you?" I nodded. "Very important." He didn't say anything, but he reached into his coat pocket, took out a small pouch, and opened it. Inside were a few coins, far more than the one I lost. He picked one and placed it in my hand. "Take this." I shook my head. "I can't. My mother told me never to take money from strangers." He smiled, an honest, tired smile. Sometimes life sends strangers to teach us lessons we'll never forget. And the truth. I must have looked confused because he continued. "When I was your age, I lost a coin too. My father beat me for it. I never forgot that lesson, not because of the pain, but because I learned how important money is for families like ours, and how easily fear can break a child." His eyes glistened in the lantern's light. "So now when I see a child like you, afraid, alone in the dark, I choose to do what no one did for me." I stared at the coin in my hand, heavier than any coin I had ever held. Not because of its weight, but because of what it meant. "Thank you," I whispered. He nodded and stood up, brushing mud off his knees. Before I could say anything else, he turned and walked into the shadows. The lantern light flickered, and then he was gone. I returning home. I walked home slowly, the coin clutched tightly in my fist. My mother was worried when she saw me, soaked to the bone, shivering, mud up to my elbows. I told her everything. Not about the fear, not about the dark figure, but about the kindness. She listened quietly, then hugged me. "Remember this," she whispered. "A single coin can feed a family, or break a heart. But in the right hands, it can also restore hope." The lesson that lasted a lifetime. Years passed. I grew older. Life changed. But that night stayed with me. And today, when you hand me even a small coin from your pocket, I remember that evening, the storm, the fear, the stranger, and the lesson. The value of a single coin is not in its metal. It's in the hands that give it, the heart that needs it, and the moment that shapes its meaning. So, my child, never underestimate the value of even the smallest kindness, because sometimes a single coin can save more than a day. It can save a soul.